liar-palooza, fire hose of falsehood, bathing in his dishonesty. Biggest lie, the big lie, one of those lies, told the same lie over and over again, repeating this big lie, just lying about the election. He's just trying to pull the wool over everybody's eyes here.
This is JP with Political Pop Culture, and this is my take. CNN's Jim Acosta is a propagandist douchebag. Look, there's no nice way to say it. I mean, sure, I could temper my words. I could use more appropriate language. I could say he's deceitful. I could say he's dishonest. Hell, I could say he's a water carrier for the left-wing agenda. And while all of that would be true, none of it really captures the distinct connotation of the word douchebag. Jim Acosta is a douchebag. At least that's my opinion. I've got facts to back up my opinion of Jim Acosta, and I think that any honest person who views Acosta's behavior and words would have to agree, even if begrudgingly so, that Jim Acosta is indeed a douchebag. Jim Acosta is an integral part of the CNN propaganda machine. He currently serves, according to CNN's own website, as, quote, CNN anchor for weekend programming and the network's chief domestic correspondent. Previously, Acosta served as CNN's White House correspondent, where he covered the Trump administration and the Obama administration from the White House and around the world. Okay, so he's a big shot. He's a big shot over at CNN. He's got free reign. He's got free reign to spew as much hatred, as much divisive rhetoric as he wants at Republicans in general and Donald Trump's supporters in particular. And let me tell you, Acosta never misses an opportunity to sling vitriol at anyone who dares to support Donald Trump, and not to mention the open hostility that he shows towards Trump himself. CNN, the Comrade News Network, in their infinite wisdom, elected to send Jim Acosta, of all people, to cover CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference, which took place in Orlando, Florida over the weekend. Needless to say, Jim Acosta was not welcomed with open arms by the people attending CPAC. In fact, on multiple occasions, he found himself the subject of questions that he did not want to and flatly refused to answer. Questions like, why doesn't CNN cover Cuomo? Or, will you denounce Antifa violence by name? Seriously, Jim? You won't even denounce Antifa violence. Really? Jim Acosta embodies everything that is wrong with modern journalism. His pro-far left, anti-anything conservative stance, which he makes zero effort to hide, should automatically disqualify him from reporting on anything political, ever. If he wants to be a pundit, fine. Go get a show, give your opinion. But a reporter is supposed to report the facts, not continually inject his own bias into reports. Now, there is a clip from this weekend that really set me off about Jim Acosta. And before I show that to you, I just want to refresh your memory quickly on who Jim Acosta really is and just how long he's been acting like a complete and total self-righteous douchebag. November 7th, 2018. President Trump is holding a press conference at the White House where an antagonistic Acosta flat out refuses to give up the microphone after the president moved to call on another reporter. Now, not only did Acosta refuse to give up the microphone, but he also committed what in many states constitutes battery against a young intern.
You run the country, you run CNN, and if you did it well, your ratings would be much better.
If I may ask one question, Mr. President, if I may ask one more question, are you worried about...
That's enough. That's enough. That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am.
Excuse me, that's enough.
Mr. President, one of the questions that I may ask on the Russia investigation, are you concerned that you may...
I'm not concerned about anything with the Russia investigation because it's a hoax. That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down?
Can you imagine if a reporter had behaved in this manner during the Obama administration? I mean, what do you think would happen to any reporter today who acted in this exact same manner towards King Joseph I? The level of disrespect, the level of animosity shown by a reporter to the President of the United States is unconscionable. The refusal to give up the microphone and the potential battery against an intern is inexcusable. And it should have ended with Jim Acosta being fired. CNN didn't fire Jim Acosta. More likely, they had champagne on ice waiting for him when he got back to the office. So that was then. But now, now Trump is out of office, so surely old Jim has softened somewhat, right? Well, take a look at this clip from CPAC yesterday, where Acosta's irrational hatred of Donald Trump and Donald Trump supporters was on full display. I am not going to cut, nor am I going to alter this clip. This is exactly how it aired on CNN.
This CPAC with Donald Trump closing it out is a liar palooza. Donald Trump opened up a fire hose of falsehoods on this crowd. He's still doing it right now. And this crowd is bathing in his dishonesty. And the biggest lie that he is telling at this CPAC is the big lie about the 2020 election, that he won the election and that it was stolen from him. He's repeated this several times throughout this speech here at CPAC. And here's one of those lies that he told earlier during these remarks. Here's what he had to say.
Actually, as you know, they just lost the White House, but it's one of those things. But who knows? Who knows? I may even decide to beat them for a third time, okay?
And, Pam, he went on and told the same lie over and over again, but in different ways. At one point, he said the election was rigged and the Supreme Court didn't do anything about it. I mean, this is the same Supreme Court, as you know, Pam, that has 3 of his Supreme Court justices that he picked and put on the high court. At one point, he said that Democrats used COVID as a way of cheating. Just over and over again, repeating this big lie, but doing it in different ways. The other thing we should point out during this speech, Pam, he talked about Trumpism and what Trumpism means. He said at one point that Trumpism means a respect for law enforcement. Well, tell that to the Capitol Police. Tell that to the Capitol Police officer, Brian Sicknick, who died on January 6th. I mean, there are obviously members of law enforcement who would disagree with the former president's description of Trumpism. He also talked about how his supporters respect the American flag. And as you and I both know, watching and covering that insurrection on that day on the Capitol, there were Trump supporters up on Capitol Hill using American flags to beat police officers. And so, the former president is not just lying about the election. He's just trying to pull the wool over everybody's eyes here at CPAC about what has been going on in the real world over the last couple of months.
No less than 10 times in that clip, Jim Acosta accuses former President Donald Trump of being a liar, of telling lies, of pulling the wool over people's eyes, while at the same time himself spreading disinformation and telling lie after lie after lie. Listen to the contempt that Acosta has for former President Trump and his supporters. Again, no less than 10 times in that clip, Acosta accuses former President Trump of lying. And he says Trump supporters are, quote, bathing in his dishonesty. Is this the language of an honest reporter? Or is this the language of a propagandist douchebag? You know where I stand. I'd love to hear your take on this story. Is Jim Acosta the propagandist douchebag that I believe him to be? Or am I misjudging him? Let me know your take in the comments. You can also let us know by joining the cult at Pol Pot Cult on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Rumble. Thanks for listening.
Liar palooza, fire hose of falsehoods, bathing in his dishonesty. Biggest lie, the big lie, one of those lies, told the same lie over and over again, repeating this big lie, just lying about the election. He's just trying to pull the wool over everybody's eyes here